On to the next. We're on the next stretch of cobblestones now. This is sector number 16 as we say goodbye to the forest and we race around Wallers. 17 riders are clear now, and I'm not so sure anybody else will be seen today. Just on 90 kilometres, about 56 miles to race, and the nasty stretch of the cobblestones. The Arenberg isn't the worst by any means, still lie ahead. It's the Arenberg which often proves decisive. It's the first phase of Paris-Roubaix, and that appears to be what's happened, Paul, because Bonan and Hincapie with their attack, they've swept up the breakaways. We've got 17 riders together now and going clear.
But it's interesting this year to know that it's all of the big riders seem to have made the group. The man who may well have missed out, and I haven't seen any green jerseys in this group for the moment, is Thor Hushoff, the recent winner of Gent-Wevelgem. He was looking to ride well here, but I think he might have had just a little bit too much bad luck this afternoon.
I agree, because I think the problem was he was off the back with a teammate just before they came into the town on the outskirts and got back, but I don't think he had the legs to get up front before the split happened.
It could have been a badly timed bit of bad luck for this man there. You can see Discovery Channel are actually dictating the pace at the front end of the main field. But of course, this is going to be very tactical now down towards the end. The important thing is to make sure you've got as many teammates around you as possible, because that's maybe got to be the deciding factor of Paris-Roubaix here this afternoon.
Well, we're still waiting to ascertain exactly who is in the break. There are 17 of them. Leif Hoster, George Hincapie. Here's the man we talked about, number 91, Thor Hushoff. And he is at, and another flat tyre. Well, when you look, he's out, it's out. This is the man who won so convincingly Gent-Wevelgem in the week. And I think this is his second puncture in about 5 kilometres.
Well, this can very often happen. You know, Thor Hushoff is a very big rider, rides a lot heavier over the cobblestones than anybody else, and he had a flat tyre the other day in training over the Forest of Arenberg, but that flat tyre at that moment, I think, is going to be very difficult for him to come back into the race.
Well, we're still charging over sector 16 of 27. We count down to sector 1. And we're looking now at Leif Hoster setting the pace here and looking very, very good. He's got tremendous form for Discovery Channel. Lars Mikkelsen is there in the third place. We know Hincapie is here. And this is, and Balan is here too.
Yeah,
now
Balan,
that's an interesting one.
Well, Balan is a rider that many people felt would be an interesting outsider. There's Hincapie just sitting at the back of the group. He's keeping his eye very closely on Tom Boonen. Boonen riding halfway down the line, but there's Roger Hammond as well, so that's nice to see that he's recovered from that injury.
Well, hats off to Roger Hammond. He rides this race with 14 stitches in his knee, and he's showing us that he is riding extremely well. I think they've also got Vladimir Gusev. There could be 4 men here from Discovery.
Well, let's have a chance to have a look here. Gusev, in fact, was the rider. I think I misidentified there. It wasn't Roger Hammond. He's a tough bike rider, but let's have a look at the rest. Postuma still survives. Lundqvist is up there for CSC with Lars Mikkelsen as well.
Well, just looking down at the field, they're starting to slow down. Not a good sign. The return of the others, if they do that, slowly being reorganised. So we have 17 riders clear now. The first phase of Paris-Roubaix has been played, and George Hincapie and Leif Hoster, Tom Bone and Van Petegem are all in the move.
It's coming back, Phil. It's 21 seconds to that second group behind now, but they've got another section of cobblestones reeling up in around about 3 kilometres time.
Nicolas Portal was number 107 there. He's had a great ride so far. Goodness knows how long he can survive with this lead group now. He's got to be feeling a bit tired. Stegman's also up in that group. Postuma's still here from Rabobank.
Well, that group behind, Phil, you know, they really do have to nail back this group, because they're coming to a very long section of cobblestones up next, and it's going to be 3.7 kilometres, 2.25 miles of racing, and that's coming up to them in around about 2 miles time. And that's why the leading group here is really insisting, because they don't want Tom Boonen's teammates to come back, but I think they may well just do it as they enter the cobbles.
Well, there's still around about half a minute onto that right-hander there. It's a big bunch too if it all gets back. That is a rather large bunch to survive together through the forest. I think it must be because the big guns all got away off the front, and there's more or less a pack of just regular kind of guys there. Except these boys here are trying to correct the mistake they made. They let the captain get in the group without him.
This is no regular group of guys. This is Team Quickstep. They are an unbelievable squad, especially when it comes to races like this. A little bit of disarray there, a little bit of discussion. Nick Noyen's talking to the lads saying, come on, let's get ourselves organised. We've got a team here of Wilfred Kretchen, Stefan de Jong, Kevin Hulsman, Servais Knaven, Nick Noyens we just mentioned, Filippo Pozzato. Those are big, serious riders. Many of them could win this race themselves. Pozzato already this year has won Milan-San Remo. There's the leading group of 17. It's actually stretched out again a little bit, 28 seconds. They will come, I think, to the next section of cobblestones in front of that group.
And here comes the cavalry here now. The leaders, if they get to the cobblestones, this race, I think, behind is going to start to crack under severe pressure to reach that front group. And they won't waste any time. They've got to finish it now, because once the elastic stretches, things can go horribly wrong. Riders will fall again soon on the cobblestones. Riders will get flat tyres, and these boys want to finish it off now. Here we are onto the next sector of cobblestones now.
Long section of cobblestones this. It's known as the section of Ornain. It's 3.7 kilometres in length, and it is a very hard section of cobblestones. Really made difficult because of the length. It's two sections sort of brought together. If Team Quickstep have got anything under the bonnet at the moment, what they need to do, Phil, is try and rip the place apart on this section, and then they might just be able to catch up with the team leader.
Well, the worst scenario now will be a problem for Tom Bonan. He's got nobody to help him here. I wouldn't recommend riding amongst those cinders on the left either. These tyres can blow very quickly. A lot of the riders have changed bicycles or wheels off camera, but they've had mechanics there with reduced pressure to try and stop the blowouts on the cobblestones. But they're making pace down the cobblestones. It switches around a little bit. Huge crowd enjoying a chilly day, to say the least. It's only about 10 or 11 degrees Celsius, and in Fahrenheit that's about 55 degrees.
A little bit of chaos. This is the second group now. Team Quickstep trying to rip it all to pieces. We've got to get back up to Tom. That's what they're thinking. Our leader is on his own, but he's going to need us at least sometime during the afternoon, because there's still 50 miles of racing, 80 kilometres to go to the finishing line. There you can see the acceleration, 27 seconds now between the leading group of 17 and the chasers behind. And the leading group of 17, Phil, are actually starting to lose themselves one or two men. Now, you see, this is rather interesting, because Quickstep now, Phil, have actually turned off. I think they've decided, forget it, we're not going to get any help from anyone in this group. We might as well bury them as well. If anybody wants to chase, come up to the front and do it now. The next time check we get is going to be closer to 1.5 minutes.
Well, this is an amazing turn of things in the Tour, in the Paris-Roubaix rather, because here we have a team that's got the leader in the breakaway, but on his own, and all of the strong men can't help him now. It's down to the man with the ultra talent, Tom Bonan, to see what he can do here, because I don't think the main field's going to come back. What an amazing turn of events, and the irony is it was Bonan's own attack that left his own team in the slipstream.